See what happens when the Brewers or any team gets a little offense going. With the way this pitching staff is going, yeah, we'll take one game at a time. 2-3 in Cleveland. We'll talk about that. Look ahead to the Mets series, a big 4-gamer coming up. Burnes did struggle. We'll talk about all that next here on Locked On Brewers.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
They score some runs, and look what happens. The Brewers have an amazing stat where if they score 4 or more runs, they are 36-6. That was put out by the Brewers Media Relations Department, passed down to the Journal Sentinel, and we got it as well. 36-6, an 85% winning percentage with scoring 4 or more runs. 12-4 in one-run games. That's second in the ML. How about that? MLB, that's what offense can do to you. We know this pitching is there. Well, maybe not in a couple of games, but, you need the offense to bail you out. And that's what happened this week in Cleveland. Good to have you along. Chuck Freeman. Welcome to Locked On Brewers, a Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Hey, man, these shows are great when they come up with wins like this weekend. This is how it was early in the season. They'd go to extras and win games. They're 5-1 in extra inning games. 5-1. Although there was a managerial decision I didn't quite agree with, but we'll get to that coming up here in a little bit. Bottom line is they won 2 of 3 in Cleveland. Now, are these Cleveland Guardians the 1995 Guardians with Tomei and Ramirez and that group? No. But still, going on the road, I'll take 2 or 3 against anybody with these guys, with the Brewers, the way the Brewers have been playing. Okay? Going on the road, taking the opener, gave one back Saturday, and then coming right back and winning an extra innings 5-4 on Sunday. That was a huge win for this team. Really it was. And, it made me feel good. I didn't think it was going to go in that direction, but Owen Miller comes through in the top of the 10th inning like he's come through. Like this guy always puts in a professional at bat. If you watch him, he somehow always gets the job done. Kid from Wisconsin, Ozaki, always, it has not been a very good June for him. But always when he goes up there, he never looks bad at the plate. He comes through, just missed a home run in the top of the 10th inning, but an RBI double, and the Brewers go on to the win. Man, am I enthusiastic about that game. You get a little offense. Yeah, how about that? 36-6. When they score 4 more runs or less, 4 runs or more. 4 runs or more, 36-6. See, if we can just get a little offense going with the way this pitching is. Cincinnati Reds, huh? No. St. Louis Cardinals, lucky come from behind win on Sunday. Oh, and lucky they worked for it. They were down early. But, the Brewers earned 2 or 3 because the offense delivered in some clutch spots. Yeah, they gave up a pitching staff. Burnes gave up the 4-1 lead. But you know what? This is a team game. And the offense, how many times has the pitching on this team gone out and pitched its rear end off? Only to get strapped with a loss, okay? How many times has that happened? Your answer, too many times. So, yeah, this team got the job done this weekend. Pitching was there. Yeah, Friday and Saturday. Saturday gave 4 runs, lost 4-2. Friday won 7-1. Miley. And then on Sunday, Burnes did give up a 4-1 lead. All right, he has struggled in his last couple of starts, and we'll get to that. But, man, coming back and winning that game, that was fantastic. That was really, really good. Clutch hitting. Miller coming up with the clutch hit. Now, there was a couple of parts of this game I didn't like. And I for the life of me, and I don't think anybody asked Craig this, but were you tempted to bring Devin Williams back for the bottom of the 10th inning? I would have been so ticked off. Okay. Ticked off. It would have been broken bobblehead day for me. I would have snapped a couple of bobbleheads had the Brewers lost this one in extras, because Devin Williams, the great Devin Williams, airbender Devin Williams, the guy who's going to be in the All-Star game. If not, are you kidding me? Devin Williams is going to be an All-Star. Okay. Pitches the ninth. And this is my problem. And a lot of you think I'm crazy. When you have your closer pitch the ninth inning, and then the 10th inning, when you got that runner at second base, then you got to bring in somebody less than capable of your closer. So bottom of the 10th inning, Brewers take the lead 5-4, and they hand the ball to Peguero, who, with a man at second, made us sweat a little bit, but he did get the save in this game for Devin Williams. But I would have loved to have Williams, and I'm telling you, I would have been irate. This might have been a 3-hour podcast of me just ranting on why Williams was not used in the bottom of the 10th inning. But Peguero got the job done. Nice picture of him showing that baseball. His first career save. And that was a team game, but I wanted to win this one so badly and take a series on the road against these guys. Because you had the 4-1 lead and you almost couldn't hold on to it, but you did. And with Owen Miller's base hit, I was like, man, if I'm Craig Counsell, see, I like to think unconventional once in a while. And I don't think it's so unconventional to bring Devin Williams in for another inning. So when my closer comes in the ninth inning and pitches, and then like the 10th inning, I'm like, gosh, can we bring Devin back for another inning? Just 3 more outs? Big game. Our guys have worked their butts off all day to try to win this series. Can we? But Peguero did close it out. Burnes struggled for a second straight outing. We're going to get to that coming up next. Go ahead to the Mets series. Talk about the ML pipeline. Their Hot 100 came up. There's a few Brewer organizational guys in it. Yeah, we'll preview the Mets series and all that coming up. All that coming up next year on Locked On Brewers. Brought to you in part by eBay Motors. For a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to be just the right fit. So at eBay Motors, the next time you need a part and accessories, you need to head to them. eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can make sure every part you need fits just right the first time around. Just add your ride to My Garage, look for the green check, and know that part will fit, or your money back, because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop at eBay Motors. And with over 122 parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, get the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. eBay Guaranteed Fit, available only for U.S. customers. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. All right, the Brewers will take on the Mets in the first of a 4-game series, 6:10, with their broadcast coming up on Monday night. They're all 6:10 games, Monday through Thursday. Catch all 4 of them, and with every Brewers broadcast, the home team broadcast on SiriusXM, on the SiriusXM app, search Brewers, and you're going to find the Brewers and Mets tomorrow night, tipping things off at 6:10. Hey, everybody there's out there, thank you very much for following us along on Twitter. Unlocked. You know what? I didn't even introduce myself tonight. I was just so excited to get into this. My name is hello, 9 minutes into the show. My name is Chuck Freeman, longtime sports talk show host in Wisconsin, morning sports anchor at 1310 WIBA. Been covering for AP Radio for over 40 years. My favorite professional sports team, probably yours as well, is the Milwaukee Brewers. I was so excited to get to this because the offense came through and they got an extra. There's just something about winning a game in extra innings to get your blood pumping a little faster. And certainly mine was. But thank you, everydayers out there. And if you want to download the audio version of this podcast, go to Google, Spotify, Apple. They're all there. And there's other platforms out there that download podcasts, other platforms out there. I list them all on my Twitter account. There's old tweets out there. Lockdown Brewers. Just got to hit the link there, and it'll direct you anywhere you want to go to find the podcast. And of course, the television version, YouTube. Hit us up there. go to YouTube, hit the search button, search Locked On Brewers. And when you get to us, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It's going to alert you every time we drop an episode here on Locked On Brewers. And of course, follow me on Twitter, everybody. You everydayers out there, you guys who are with us every day, Chuck Freeman, Freimund. We'll get to some of your tweets, tell you about what Brewers are on the MLB Hot 100 list, the Pipeline Hot 100 list. And we'll preview this series against the Mets as well. And talk, most importantly, about Corbin Burnes. That's next here on Locked On Brewers. Welcome back to Locked On Brewers. Your host, Chuck Freeman. Good to have you along up here on a Monday morning, Monday edition, Monday afternoon, wherever you're following us along. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's get right down to business here with the Brewers and Mets in a 4-game set. And we'll tell you about facing Justin Verlander in that first game. Colin Ray is going to be pitching for Milwaukee. We'll get to that in just a second. I got to take a quick drink. There we go. So Diet Mountain Dew. Corbin Burnes, was not good again. I don't think it's a reason for concern, but when he had the 4-1 lead, I thought, okay, this one is looking good. Why didn't I bet on the Brewers today? And then he had 3 runs and had to have Owen Miller come in and save him. But Burnesy, 8 hits and 3 Ks. Second game in a row, 8 hits and 3 Ks. Yeah, it wasn't good. He's struggling. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, it could have got worse. Hobie got him out that final out, but Burnes struggled mightily. But he was cruising along, and then came that inning where he couldn't do no right. He was struggling. He couldn't get outs in the 6th inning. Gave up a home run ball earlier in the game to Naylor. 99 pitches. So Burnesy this year got an ERA of 4.10. Not bad, not terrible, but not like the Burnes that we know. And if you're thinking trading deadline for Burnes already, let's face it, his stock has probably dropped a little bit. In fact, the dollar signs might have come down a little bit on the free agent market. Okay. But I don't think he's going anywhere. Although Tampa Bay, it sounds like they are really, really going to be aggressive in the trade market. But if the Brewers are in the race, no, I don't want to trade anybody. If they're fighting for his division title, like they're probably going to do, okay, you got to keep Burnes. But Burnes, real curious how he makes his 3rd start. Okay. See how that goes. But man, I was just surprised. I thought 4-1 lead, usually Burnes is right on. You know, he gave the 7 runs, 6 in the 1st inning in his previous start last Monday. And just thought, okay, that was just one of those games where he gave a home run in that 1st inning. But giving up the 4-1 lead, usually he's got the lead, a 3-run lead. You know, you're pretty much going home at that point. That was a little surprise. I'm going to caution on going, and I know I see you guys on Twitter are upset with Burnes. You've been upset with him since day one of this season because of the whole arbitration thing. I get it. Okay. But him and Woody are still the best pitchers on the staff. Okay. They are. If you want one guy to pitch a game, it's one of the 2 guys. All right. You still feel good with Burnes. As great as Tehran, who's throwing, and he's throwing about as good as anybody in the league right now, you still take Burnes. I see you guys trashing Burnes on Twitter. I see all that. Okay. Because I think a lot of you are upset. Now, yeah, I'm not happy with the way he's been pitching as of late either. But thank God they won. And the offense bailed a starting. That's the route I'm taking. The offense bailed the starting pitcher out. And by the way, Perkins, don't be getting picked off first base. Late in the game, got on, leadoff guy got on, and he got picked off at first base. It was a close play, but that is like you just can't have that happen, especially to a team that struggles to find offense and get runs to begin with. can't be getting picked off at first base. Should never get picked off ever, but especially if you're the leadoff guy late in the game. All right, you're in a tie game. What are you doing getting picked off? Rookie mistake right there. All right, the Brewers have 3 guys in their in the pipeline, MLB pipeline. And this used to be Baseball America and MLB pipeline, the 2 biggies. Baseball America is still a biggie, but Churio's 3, Frelick is 20th in the minor league system. Quero is 79th. Mizorowski is 93rd. So the Brewers have 4 guys right now in MLB's top 4 list. Curio has dropped down. He was number 1, but now he's number 3. So still solid in the farm system. Are the Milwaukee Brewers would have a couple more guys on that pipeline, but they're up with the major league team. 4-game set coming up with the New York Mets. We're going to get to that coming up here in a little bit. We'll see what you had to say on Twitter after a 5-4 game. Mike Bull says, at least they won. I also threw a couple of things out on Twitter. I was not happy, of course, when Williams came out of the game. And I didn't like the Brewer uniforms. Those dark blue with Milwaukee on the front. Didn't like them. Didn't like the uniforms they wore today. Jason says, even with a Brewer win, they got to figure out more strengths in offense. Yelich, Contreras, and Miller are the only starting batters that are strong. Is Yelich is still a threat, isn't he? Even though he's batting like 272. A couple of weak groundouts. Adames had 4 hits on Friday. How about that? Everyone else is below 220. What are your thoughts as we move forward? What are my thoughts? Somebody tweeted at me this weekend, Chuck, maybe we need 1 bat, and that'll get everybody going. No, they need more than 1 bat. I think we all know 1 bat is not a difference in this team, and I don't think 1 bat is going to get this team going. Although they picked up Adames 2 years ago in May, and they took off after they got Adames. So that would shoot down my argument there. They just started winning and winning and winning and winning. And they met up with the Atlanta Braves in the postseason, and the winning stopped. But I really think they need 3 hitters, or some of these guys, because they contend to contend for a World Series title, not just make it to the playoffs and take our chances. We've done that before, but I mean, a legitimate World Series shot, like 2018, that was a legitimate shot. 2011, legitimate shot. Okay. This one right now, this is not unless some of these guys surprise me, it's not a deep run playoff team. They're going to hit the midway point of the season right now in this Mets series, and the sample size is there that they're not. But unless some of these guys really dramatically turn their seasons around, I don't see them going that way. Jason also said, I don't know if Counsell knows he can use the bullpen pitchers more than 1 inning. Yeah, nobody asked. I don't think, nobody asked him if he thought about bringing Williams back for another inning. Again, maybe it's just so unconventional in today's baseball world to pitch a closer another inning. But Devin has pitched 5 outs before. He's come in the 8th inning before and got 2 outs there and then pitched the 9th. So really, what's the difference if he comes back for another inning? Because if you lose this game today, because Elvis Peguero struggled, he struggled his last outing, earlier in the week. But if he struggles, wouldn't you be saying, man, maybe I should have gone with Devin Williams, thought out of the box? MJ says this team has been playing terrible baseball for a while. He wrote that during the game. Dr. Granerjan says, another bad game by Corbin Burnes. Is he already washed up? His ERA is 4.10. Well, 4.10 wouldn't say he's washed up. 4.10 wouldn't say he's washed up. There's another guy who plays with the New York Mets, former Cy Young Award winner. He's struggling. We'll talk about him coming up here in a little bit. I don't think he's washed up either, but his ERA is not too well either. Evan says, I do think one successful bat can spread to other hitters. I just have no confidence that the front office would actually make that move. Well, if you're going to get a big bat, you're going to have to give up a big prospect, a good prospect. You're going to have to. He gave up a decent prospect for Trevor McGill. Decent single A prospect. But you're going to have to give up probably some more. Evan says, I think all the Brewers needed. Well, no, we just read that one. Let's see. Dan says, worst hitting team ever. No one has any decent approach to hitting. Just throw them all breaking balls. Pathetic. That's true. Yeah, the Brewers' approach to hitting is not pretty at times. Yeah, it's downright pathetic. But this series, they scored 7 runs in the game and 6 runs in the game. I'll take that. They scored 2 in the game they lost. As I mentioned, 36-6 when they score 4 more runs. Need some more of that. Maybe they can get that done against the New York Mets this coming week. 4 games in New York. Talk about that next here on Locked On Brewers. Welcome back to Locked On Brewers. I'm your host, Chuck Freeman. Thanks for making Locked On Brewers your first listen to every day. Game 1 of that series in New York. It is Justin Verlander going for the Mets. And let's see. Colin Ray for the Brewers. Colin Ray struggled in his last few starts. Okay. And I've said on here, I don't expect a lot of Ray, but even last couple starts have not been good. He's got to be a little better than that. Okay. Colin Ray. And maybe some of that news about him, these scouts are getting ahead of Ray because Ray's had some good ones, but the last 2 have not been good. Okay. Justin Verlander, who's been struggling since coming off the disabled list. He started the year on the injured list, and 9 starts he's made since then, a 4.50 earned run average. So if you think that Burnes is struggling, Verlander with that salary, 4.50. Buck Showalter's on the fence with the New York Mets because they got like a $450 million payroll, and that's the most in baseball, and they are just bad. The Mets are struggling. The Mets might be the most disappointing team in baseball. Might be. They are 35-42. They are 15 games behind the Atlanta Braves. So they're thinking wild card at this point, but they got to get the 500 first. And Buck Showalter clearly on the fence. And you hear these rumblings that David Stearns might be headed to New York to take over the GM duties there. And maybe bring Craig Counsell with him. That's the rumor that you hear. That's the rumor. We'll keep that on the back shelf. But, that's the rumor. Stearns is going to bring his own guy in, and that would be Craig Counsell because Craig is not under contract. I mean, if you put the pieces together, you would think, okay, I can see where that would work, but let's not even go there right now. Tehran is going to pitch Tuesday for the Brewers. The Brewers have not announced their starters for Wednesday or Thursday. It looks like Wednesday, that would be Miley's turn, and Thursday, let's check. Peralta, that would be Peralta's turn, who struggled in his last start. So 4 games of the Mets, all at 6:10. All at 6:10. The Brewers this weekend, they did take 2 of 3. Now, Cincinnati finally had that winning streak snapped. They ran into the Atlanta Braves. The Braves blew a 5-0 lead against them on Friday night, and then almost blew leads against them on Saturday and Sunday. Held on for 7-6 wins over the Reds. So the Reds dropped the final 2 games. Man, they had some big crowds in Cincinnati because, they haven't had winning there. This is I'm sure you've heard this. I've said this on the podcast. This is the deepest the Reds have been in first place in the NL Central since 2012. And right now, despite the 12-game winning streak, they are only half a game ahead of the Milwaukee Brewers. And the Reds start a series at Baltimore on Monday night. So let's see if things continue to go reverse direction for the Reds, who, again, hard-fought games. Boy, that Dela Cruz, he's going to be trouble for years to come. That guy's fantastic. Number 44 for the Reds. Wow, is he good. Wow, is he good. And the Cardinals got back on the winning train. They got down 4-0 and rallied to win. So the Cardinals, the game was in London against the Cubs. The Cardinals, 13 games under the 500 mark. They're only 8.5 back. I said this on TV last week. I think the Cardinals are right there. The Brewers and Mets coming up on Monday night. Again, each one of these games, 6:10 broadcasts. Catch every game of the Brewers home broadcast, Sirius XM, the SXM app. Search Brewers. Thank you, all you everydayers out there, for watching, listening us on your various podcast platforms, Google, Spotify, Apple. Download us on YouTube. We're here every day. Go to YouTube. Put in Locked On Brewers. You'll see me. You'll see my face. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button there. That'll alert you every time we drop an episode. You probably can get alerted on those podcast sites, the audio podcast sites too. So I have people telling me that when you get up in the morning, they have that alert there. Or you can also go to your smart device, the one that begins with A, I have in my house. Just say her name, say Locked On Brewers, and that'll come up for you each and every day. Thanks, everybody. Follow me on Twitter, Chuck Freeman, FREIMUND. We'll see you after the game tomorrow night. The Brewers and Mets. Got to give one, Colin Ray, and get that offense. Keep that offense going as the Brewers and Mets start a series in New York. Chuck Freeman, Locked On Brewers on the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. So long, everybody.